I would pop on here and put a wee map of Ireland on, for those who aren't familiar. Just if you look at the map, I've circled where we stayed at my mum and dad's house in Ballymena in the north of Ireland, and I circled down the bottom there in Kilkenny where we stayed with Nigel's dad in the south of Ireland. You will all know, if you've watched before, that I am not a videographer or a photographer, but I've tried my best. I've just taken a few wee snippets here and there of some of the things we did. I didn't have the camera out very much because it was a family holiday and we wanted to enjoy ourselves, but just thought I'd pop a few wee pictures on here, a few wee videos to see what the crack was when we were over in Ireland. If it's not your thing, do feel free to fast forward to the knitting portion, and also if you have a bit of motion sickness, maybe skip forward a few seconds at the beginning of the video. Okay. doing? Nigel, what are you doing? Is it cold, Samuel? Is it cold? Hello and welcome to the Ruth Loves to Knit podcast. I'm Ruth and I love to knit. You're so welcome here this morning to a bit of a different podcast again. It is Wednesday the 30th of August 2023 and I am back in my craft room after a family holiday to Ireland. For those who are new here, this won't be a normal podcast. When's it ever normal with me? But hopefully next time will be what we want to call a normal podcast. But this is just a wee recap of a bit of time we had in Ireland. Again, for those who don't know me, I'm originally from Northern Ireland. My husband's originally from the south of Ireland, and we went home for a couple of weeks there. We came back a week ago today, and I know a lot of you have been asking how it went and all of that. So I thought I would do a wee recap. Don't get worried. It's not going to be in depth. Yeah, if you've watched the first, I think it's 7 minutes of this, you'll know that we had a very simple holiday, and I took a bit of video, not very much. I disclaim if the video turned your hair grey, that I am not a videographer. You need to watch plenty of other knitting videos or knitting podcasts for the beautiful photography and videography that they put on. It just is not my thing, but hopefully you grasped a wee bit of how beautiful Ireland is, if nothing else. As always, I'm coming to you from Devon, where we now live, where I live with my husband and our 2 kids. The kids are still off school. They're 13 and 15, so still in bed at 9:20, of course they are, and I'm not wakening them. I do not poke the bear. Weather forecast, of course, in Devon is very grey, not raining at the moment, but we have had a shocking August and July. We had a roasting hot June, but the summer holidays have just been rubbish, really. We've had a few days here and there. Although, as you saw, we got to the beach in Northern Ireland, but it wasn't sunny, but it's been warm, but definitely autumn vibes are here. So that long story is to say that, as you can see, the light is on shining off my grey hair so that you can actually see me, because it's a very dull day. Anyway, that was a long drawn out explanation of why a light was on, but if you've watched before, you know, don't you? Anyway, so I wanted to just see what I've been knitting, what I've bought, what I've been given while I was in Ireland, and probably a couple of days when I came home too. So I thought, if I don't do it now, it'll not be no point doing it. Yeah, just come with me and my knitting over the sea to Ireland. So I look like I'm still half asleep, which I am. But anyway, you'll see me waking up as the time goes on. So I've made a few notes here because we had a fantastic time. Oh, it was just lovely. Very simple. You know, you think your kids are growing up, but mine are still wanting to go to the fairground and the beach and all the rest of it. So that's what we did. We did a house swap with my mum and dad. My mum and dad came over here. We saw each other either side, a few days either side. They came over here and they had a great time. They looked very rested. They looked after our wee dog. You'll have seen, maybe I'll just pop a picture up here again. Very, very spoiled. They love her to bits. And they took her out with them, and they went to see all different places. And I think mum and dad, you had a great time. And so we went to stay in their house, and they live in Ballymena. That's not where I was brought up, but they live in Ballymena in County Antrim. So we stayed there. I think we left it as we found it, and for a few days, and we had some fun there. I'm looking at these. Well, the first thing I noticed when we got on the plane,
as you can imagine, going from England to Ireland, it's only a small wee plane. And the lady in front of us was knitting with big long metal needles, and I had worried, you know, about taking needles on the plane. It's only a domestic flight, fair enough. And I had my little 9-inch sock needles with the wooden tips and everything else in my hold luggage. I was very good, and she's sitting there knitting on colour work on big long straight metal needles. So not that I knit on big long straight metal needles, but I thought it was interesting when there's so much chat about can we take needles, can we not? Well, there's your information. If you're flying from Ireland or from England to Ireland and vice versa, you can take your long metal needles. I wanted to reach over and say, you could be doing that in the round, you do know that. But I spoke to her whenever we landed and said how lovely her work was and all the rest of it. And of course I was knitting away in socks, and my daughter was sitting on the other side of the aisle crocheting away too. So there was a lot of craft going on, and the stewardess did ask, my daughter, what are you knitting? You know, and she says, oh, I'm crocheting. So she was crocheting away, and that lovely wee lady in front of us was doing her knitting too. So the first, what day did we get there? We went on a Wednesday. Can't remember what we did. And we went to the beach on one day, and we ran to the car out of the rain. Well, my son was in the water, so he didn't care. But it was one of those days you dodged the rain, but it was warm rain. And in a wee seaside town called Portrush, and we bumped into so many people we knew, because Northern Ireland's such a small community, and I just saw so many people we knew, and we got ice cream and all the rest of it. But probably what you're interested in isn't the fact that we paddled and got ice cream and bought fish and chips for tea and all of that. Is that I met up the next day, I think, with two lovely girls, and they are Sam and Danny from Woolly Adventures yarn. Now, you'll have seen me using Woolly Adventures yarn, the beautiful Fearless yarn that they did for charity, or to fundraise for kids in the community. And what a treat. We went to a coffee shop. I think I clocked it was 7 minutes from my mum and dad's house, so they were very good. They came to me. They live in the next nearly the next town to mum and dad, where mum and dad live anyway. And Eva and I got up on a Saturday morning early and went in and met them, and great chatting, lovely to put real face to name. And so enthusiastic about their yarn dyeing. They're on Etsy at Woolly Adventures. I will put those details in the description, but you'll have seen me using their yarn before. Well, what a surprise. They brought in a big bag. It did say happy birthday on it. And it felt like my birthday. They were joking that it was just one they had in the house, and it felt like my birthday. It really did. They gave us a humongous box of chocolates, which we did share, I promise. And then these beauties. Now I'll show you the two that aren't theirs first. Now, it's Spoilt, Rotten and Blessed all in one. And these are from Hugh Loco Yarns, which is American, not just, you know, down the road. And these two beauties, hope you can see, it's not too bad. Oh, it's not too bad. These two beauties, I mean, look, they are singles, I think. Oh, they're quite fine. You can see highly spun. And then this is singles, I think, from Hugh Loco. And this one is Boca Sock, 100% superwash merino wool. Singles, yeah, fingering weight single ply, and it says it's called Compliment Me. And this one is Spun Sock. You can definitely see it's spun, can't you? Excuse me. And this is 80-10-10. I didn't even realise that. Merino cashmere nylon, and it's a one of a kind. And that is so kind. Would that do for, excuse me. You can tell I haven't had my coffee this morning yet, but I wanted to get this done because I have to drive my son to a sleepover in about an hour and a half. So anyway, and then they gave me one of their own yarns, and as I said, it's Woolly Adventures is their name. And this is BFL, so I mean, if that doesn't say Ireland, what does it say? BFL sock, Superwash BFL 20%, 75 BFL 25% night, 425 meters. Hand dyed in Cullibaggy in County Antrim, and it's called Have Faith to Get Out of the Boat. And if you're a Christian or you read the Bible or you know the Bible, you'll know that that is a reference to Peter getting out of the boat and having the courage. And if you don't know, go and look it up. Go Google it. And I just thought that was a brilliant title. They're just taking a stand, and it's called Have Faith to Get Out of the Boat. But they're on Etsy. Go and check them out. They've been doing a lot of, if you're in Northern Ireland, they've been doing a lot of fairs and things. And you might have caught them at Ballycastle. They were at the Old Lammas Fair this past week. But really, it says world domination, one colourful skein at a time. So there you are, Woolly Adventures. If you want a bit of Irish yarn, if you don't live close by, I'm sure they probably ship. So those treats, absolutely blown away. I got a bit tearful, as I always do, when people are so kind. And it was just a blessing to talk and meet up with you. And Eva just thought you were great. And we got good coffee, so what's not to love? So that was just a real treat. I didn't meet up with really many other people, to be honest. But when they were so close, it was just too good an opportunity to miss. I'll have to take a drink because there's something definitely in my throat today. Then the Sunday, it was a privilege to be able to go to our home church. We have been away from it for nearly 10 years, and some people had got a bit older. Lots of kids running around, lots of people we didn't know, but it was a real privilege to go. And we killed two birds with the one stone, because the town I'm from is called Ballyclare. I'd mentioned it a bit on my last podcast, and where I went to school. I didn't live there as a child, but we do have, that's where we lived when we got married with the kids, and had where we had the kids. And we have to drive through it to get to our church. And we were looking for the Ballyclare sign. Welcome to Ballyclare sign. It's a big blue sign on the side of the road. And we saw it on the way to church, and we said, right, on the way back, I had a finished object, and I thought I'd jump out of the car and get a picture beside the Ballyclare sign, because if you watched last time, you'll know I was knitting on a test knit for Brenda Brayfield Knits, who is originally from Northern Ireland, and all of her quite a few of her patterns are named after places in Northern Ireland. And I had said once upon a time, if you ever do a Ballyclare shawl, let me know. And bless her, she did. And I had one finished, and I said to my husband, can we stop by the Ballyclare sign on the way back and we'll get some photographs? Well, I put it on the wee reel at the start, but I will put it here. We laughed so much because the only place we could park was the cemetery entrance. Sorry, that sounds very irreverent, but it was right at the edge of the cemetery. There was lots of people in the cemetery because, I don't know, on Sundays it seems to be a thing to go and visit the graves. And we had to run across the road onto a grass verge, and we had no sooner got out of the car than there was a complete torrential downpour. You can see it. I'm standing in flip-flops, my coat up, and my face, because I'm like this, because it was raining so hard. The cars were coming past, splashing us with rain. My husband standing with the phone trying to take the pictures. So only that it was so funny. We just laughed, and I ran across the road again, giggling, running into a cemetery. It wasn't very good. That we got these photographs. So they're probably not what she was expecting, but we got them anyway. So I have finished not one, but two Ballyclare shawls, because when I was away, I got an awful lot of time to knit, because I forgot that teenagers don't like to get up in the morning. So we had most very chilled mornings, and I don't sleep well, so I was up very early, and I even ended up knitting my emergency yarn. So this is the first one, and I haven't cut the ends off yet. They're all woven in, but I've worn it, but the ends are still on it. And this is the Ballyclare shawl. You can see the lovely mesh because you can see my dress through it. And in my favourite yellow, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I love it. See the nice picot edge. And it's just, this lighting isn't fantastic, but when is it ever? And you can see the lovely bits of gold in that. And it was just a pleasure to knit. There were no mistakes, although I'm struggling a wee bit to recognise mistakes at the moment. That's for another podcast. I couldn't see any mistakes, and it's so beautifully written out. I've got it here as it falls on the floor, and it's the Ballyclare shawl by Brenda Brayfield. She goes by Brenda B, I think, on Instagram, and it'll be out this coming month, a few days time, September. But she does it, I don't know how I can show you without showing you the, so she does it in lines, see, and you can just tick them off as you go. It's such, so if you haven't done this kind of thing before, even for a beginner, I think it would be a great pattern. Excuse me as I retrieve it from the floor. There we go. It'd be a great pattern to try. I've worn this and the ends are still hanging off it. And it is just gorgeous. So that's 2 skeins of yarn, and they are these. The other one, they were in, I think you can see those all right, can't you? Yeah. And they are, the gold is Attic Spin Dye. You know how much I love Attic Spin Dye, Andy and Angela. And it's Honey Pot. I had both of these in my stash for quite a while. And it is Blueface Leicester and nylon, 75-25, 425 grams. And you'll see in a minute that you can do it from 400 or 425. So there's a wee bit left for something else. And then the other one is Craft House Magic. I had got this in a D-stash. So you can see the you can see how worn the label is. That's how long it's been in my stash. And it's Crazy Little Thing Called Love. She names all her skeins after songs, and then they go around in my head all day. And it's 75-25, 425 meters in 100 grams. So Craft House Magic. And I hope, I know not everybody's into colour, but I hope you can see that those just complement each other really, really well with a wee bit of gold in that variegated one. I absolutely love it, and it's just such a lovely size. But for those who are observant, which I'm usually not, you will see this beauty right now. I don't know if I think it does go with my dress, doesn't it? This beauty was my emergency yarn. The night before I was leaving, I thought, what did I just throw another couple of balls in? And I had this in my stash for ages too, and it was already balled up. So I thought, right, I'll just throw it in. If I don't use it, it's not going to take up any room. And I used it fully and had this finished. So this is my other Ballyclare shawl. Immediately, I just cast off one and immediately cast on the other. And this is this one. Now, of course, I've knit it. That's it. Of course, I've knit it in colours that don't come up on screen. But that's the colours. And we went into several shops, and the summer sales are still on, but the winter, fashion and stuff's coming in. Not that I ever wear fashion. And these are all the colours that are in. So, I've had this in my stash for a good year. And so, I'm fashion forward, ahead of the trends. Believe anything. And this is the other one I did anyway. And it's just gorgeous too. I mean, look at that lace. It's not really lace. She calls it, I forgot. I tried to remember last time and I forgot as well. Something eyelets. Ridged eyelets. So they're not, if you're not into sort of pretty lace, I think this is a really good, showing you the wrong way. I haven't cut the ends off this either. They're all woven in, but I haven't cut the ends off. You don't come here for perfection, you don't. So I feel the difference of not having that around my neck. It's not why. Oh, the sun's coming out. Oh, quick, get outside. Isn't that wild in August? I think it was 12 degrees here yesterday in August. Oh well, I have to get over it. I don't know. So there you go. It was all or nothing. It was roasted hot or chilly. And so these are all I've got left of. I don't know why I've got less of these. Oh, I do know why I've got less of these, because only 400 grams in these balls. I think they go really well together. I just got those in my local yarn shop, the Woolly Beater. It's just Reggie A Silk. I actually got them for a different project, as I often do, and then used them for this. And of course I'm not professional. I have to remember which colour's which because it's numbers. But there's the label. Reggie A Silk 4-ply. And you can get these everywhere, can't you? And it is lovely to work with. I made my mum a cardigan, when was that, last year, out of it. And it hasn't worn that well because obviously she's wearing it as a cardigan, so it's on her an awful lot. But I think as a shawl it'll work really well. And there's 400 meters, so that's why I've got less. So, and the colorways are 65 and 60. But I'll try and say which one's which. Probably won't have great show notes for this episode, but there you go. So that was my emergency yarn. As you know, these come balled up, so that was great. And I got 2 of those finished in the holidays. Didn't knit as much when I was down south, and I didn't knit that much in the car. I thought I would have, but yes, it was lovely to get those done. And this is obviously with the silk in it, is lovely around your neck. So keep an eye out for that pattern. Brenda has done herself proud, and I just think it's gorgeous. So if you have 2 wee skeins that you think might complement each other and you're not sure what to do, keep an eye out for it. I think it's September she's planning, and she's not awfully active on Instagram, but I will let you know when that's out. So thank you very much for letting me test that, Brenda, because I said to her, no, sorry, I wouldn't have time. And then it was too good a chance with going to Ballyclare although the photographs were rubbish, to get a wee picture and get that story behind that. So yeah, so I think you saw a wee bit of a drive through Ballyclare on the video again. I just quickly got my phone out, and I've held it the wrong way. I know you're meant to hold it this way, and but you can see that it's just a wee market town. She said in the description of her pattern, it's a picturesque town, and maybe you do think that when you see it, but yeah, it's just normal to me anyway. So where are we? Waffle, waffle, waffle. So then oh, the other thing, on the Sunday night we decided to go to the church that I grew up in, where my dad was the minister until I was left home, until I was away from home, and well, from 13 to when I left home. And went in and saw so many people. Saw my really good friend who I grew up with. She doesn't look a day older compared to me. She looks doesn't look a day older than when we were hanging around when we were teenagers. But the icing on the cake, or the icing on the bun, was that I bumped into the person who taught me to knit. Now, she didn't go to our church when when she taught me to knit. She was my teacher at school, Mrs. Morton. I think I'm allowed to call her Helen now. And I know our kids and all the rest of it, but she taught me to knit when I was about 6 or 7 probably, and she can't remember it, obviously. She's been in teaching for 40 years. I'm not the priority, but I was able to tell her that because of her, we have this channel, I have this community, and she just thought it was great. So the wee picture of her here, she is tiny. But that's Mrs. Morton, and she taught me to knit and craft in school. So that just made my night, and I was able to remind her. We talked about loads of things, and it was just fun to see people that I grew up with, and being at the church. So that was really nice. And then on the Monday we headed down south to Kilkenny to see Nigel's dad, who, if you're watched before, you'll know Nigel's mum sadly passed away on Boxing Day of this past year, 2022, after a fall. And he's coping really well, bless him. He gets Meals on Wheels delivered to him, and they didn't come for 2 weeks. And I said to him, because they're delivered by volunteers and there was nobody to bring them, and I said to him, what did you do? And he says, I learnt to cook. So he's 87, never cooked in his life. And he's coping very, very well. He's quitting very slow on his feet. He has to use a Zimmer around the house. But I think he's coping well. It was lovely to see him, chat to him. We had lovely conversations, and I'm sure you've seen on the wee video the beautiful place he lives. That's Nigel's home place. That's where he grew up. He was a working farm at one point, and it's just idyllic. The birds singing, and it was just lovely to spend time, and for the kids to spend time with their granddad as well. And Samuel actually said, could we move down here? He has decided he wants to be a farmer again. He goes up and down, and he wanted granddad to hand him over the farm and he would look after it. My son is 13. But he worked hard. On the first day we were there, my husband was trying to get, the garden sorted, the lane sorted, trimming, everything. And I thought, I'll take the kids away and get them away from under his feet, and they didn't want to go. Samuel headed out and brushing up the yard, you saw it there, and fixing up things, and he fixed a gate, and he's very, very practical and very handy. So it was great to see them outside. It was a sunny day, and just kids being kids. It was really, really nice. And again, just to spend time and cooked a few meals and did different things with Nigel's dad. So it was hard to leave him. It always is. Because we don't know when we'll see him again, but yeah, it was just a very precious time down in Kilkenny with him. He lives between Kilkenny and Carlow, if any of you know the Irish geography. And I did take the kids to Carlow on one day. It was so funny. The kids wanted to go and see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I drew the line. I was not going to see that, so I dropped them off, and they went in, and I thought, wonder, does Carlo have a knitting shop? Just to say, we had no Wi-Fi or internet. My father-in-law doesn't have it. So the kids, teenagers with no internet or Wi-Fi. So I couldn't Google to see whether there was a knitting shop. So I thought I'll just ask. So I took a dander around, and it was a roasting hot day. Despite it being dull, it was so humid and warm. And I took a dander down round the town of Carlow, and I went into a charity shop actually and said, excuse me, is there a knitting shop? And the man in the charity shop hadn't a clue, but this customer said, oh yes there is, and she directed me down this this maze. I had to walk through a shop, out the back of a shop, anyway, I came across it and went in, but it was mainly a fabric shop, and it had just one wall of like commercial yarn, but on the ground, literally on the ground, I saw these beauties, and you need a souvenir, don't you? I mean, my father-in-law gave me a wee bit of money. And as you know, in the south of Ireland, they have euros, and to get it changed into pounds you would just lose so much money. That's my excuse. So I got these beauties, and I thought, that's my wee souvenir from the south of Ireland. Like, I need souvenir from the south of Ireland. And I got two colours because that's all they had. And it was beautifully skeined up, but to fit it into my suitcase, I had to unskein it and set it flat. So I have not skeined it up well, but sure, it'll be used and nobody's going to comment. So it is from Sonnet yarn. I'm sure maybe in Irish that sounds nicer than the way I'm saying it. And it is 100% pure new wool. It's Aran. It's all you seem to be able to get. There's not a big amount of there's a mill in Kilkenny, but I couldn't find any yarn shops at all in Kilkenny. If anybody knows, let me know. And it is this one here. That's perfect actually. It's a lovely green mossy emerald. It's nearly petrol-y. It's really lovely, and it's shade 1671. If there's another shade on it, and there's been a line put through it, and it's 250 grams, and it's 375 meters. So that's Shawls yarn. Shawls yarn, don't know. Well, actually that's maybe better. You can see it's really plied. It's quite toothy, but not scratchy. It's 100% wool. And I also got this one. Oh, Moroccan. Got Moroccan chair back, and I'm slipping off it. Oh, that's the colour. Look at that. It's purple, but it's got blues and greens and everything in it. Just to show you, that's not right. me skinning these things up again. But they're 275, so it's so they were hard to skein, and I got 3 of them, so just over 1,000 meters. And what I want to do with one of them anyway, they had more, but I just thought 1,000 meters would be good. Felix is less than 1,000 meters for me, things like that. But I had my eye on, I'll put a picture up here, I've just got the details here, that's why I'm reading it. And it is the, make it a bit bigger because I can't see it. It's the Haley Slipover by Iris H. I say that I've had it in my library on Ravelry for ages. I have a feeling it might have been a free pattern or something like that initially. It's not now. And I have quite a few dresses with long sleeves that I thought that would be really, really nice over, and it only takes less than 1,000 meters to knit. So that could be something, and I thought one of those would be nice for that, or another Felix, my third Felix. So we'll see, but it is quite toothy. It is definitely a woolly wool. So I don't think I want to do a shawl with it or anything like that. So those were my purchases in Carlow. My kids just rolled their eyes when they came back to the car. Oh, I was so hot looking at Aran wool, you know. And so I came back to the car and turned the AC in the car on. And then, but the funny thing was, I think I'm mad. The funny thing was, took the kids to McDonald's for tea, walked around to McDonald's, looked across the road, and the wool shop was across the road from McDonald's. And we'd driven in that way. So, made a very, very nice little trip to the wool shop, very, very complicated. So that was those. That'll do for my thumbnail. But get the make of it. And the double chins are from all the rubbish we ate, so that needs to be addressed now that we're back home too, but that's neither here nor there. Now I'm going to throw these, but only onto a bed, not onto the floor. That's it. Right, I better speed this up or you'll be bored to tears. So yes, those I was talking about those skeins, and to somebody, I can't remember who it was, and they're just so full of plumptiousness. Is that a word? I just love it. I wrote it down here. I'm going to use it as much as I can. Plumptiousness. So then the next day we went to Kilkenny into town on just for a dander round, and I may have got something that was knitted bought to me, but you'll see that in further podcast. It's absolutely gorgeous, although I did feel like I was kind of committing adultery against my knitting projects because it was bought, the knitted item bought, but you see that as the days get colder. And we saw that wool in Kilkenny in a tourist sort of souvenir shop, 100 gram skeins, and it was twice the price. So I'm very glad I got it in Carlow at the price that I did. So yeah, I'm very happy with that wee purchase. The only thing I would say about Kilkenny is my husband is celiac and lactose. Can't take lactose, and it was a nightmare to get food. So Kilkenny Tourist Board, or if you are celiac and you're going to Kilkenny, it was a nightmare to find food. We spent a long time. I was very hangry by the time we found somewhere. And yes, I wasn't impressed by that. If you like bread, world's your oyster. But my husband can't eat bread. We'd normally always take sandwiches everywhere we go, but we thought, a big town like Kilkenny, and yeah, it was very disappointed. Anyway, so the only other thing that I knit on apart from my lovely Ballyclare socks are my Marie Curie Sock Quest socks. Oh, I don't have the other one here, do I? Where's the other one? Oh, that's good. I don't know where I've put the other one. I promise I have knit one, and this is the second one. Do you know? Oh, there we go. Wee bits of pinky red in it. That's it there. As you know, knitting for Marie Curie, I think these will be my last pair. I think between me and my lovely knit club ladies, we should have about 10 pairs this time. I think we sent about 12 pairs last time, and I've done these bigger. I really do have the second one, but I don't know where I've put it. I knit these a size 11, men's 11, cast on 72 stitches. So that's blowing out, so bright. And this yarn is lovely. It's from lovely Mandy, who has a podcast, which is Mouse's Makes, and this is her yarn. Mouse Switch Yarns, and this is the year of the yarn March. My birthday was in March, so I bought this. And it's handmade by Poppy and Mouse. You'll know she has a cat that co-hosts with her, and I haven't much left because when you do a big sock, you don't have as much left. So I'll have those finished soon, and I'll block them. I always block socks when they're for somebody else, unless their name's Cara, and hopefully get those away to the Marie Curie sock quest. So that was all I knit really. I've knit loads since I've come home a week. I knit quite a bit before we went between the podcasts, so I'll show that next time because yeah, I've got a bit of, not like me to have a story, excuse me, but I've got a bit of a story to tell. Just a wee bit of a crisis of confidence, is that the right way to put it? Imposter syndrome, defeat. Tune in next time. So what else did happen? Whenever I got to my father-in-law's house, there was a package waiting for me that I had completely forgotten about. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I have posted about a maker quite a few times. She makes, her name is, I know I looked this up, Jurgita, and she has the Knitter Bag on Instagram and Etsy, and she is from Lithuania. So I looked it up and I couldn't stop looking at this bag. Go and check her out on Etsy. She's Knitter Bag on Etsy, and the choice and the designs on her project bags are just brilliant, as we'd say, class. And I have quite a bit of communication with her, but I ordered one and it was €9 cheaper to get it sent to the south of Ireland, thanks Brexit. Because we're not in the European Union anymore. So I got them sent. She had an amazing sale, like a 25% off sale, and then I got more money off by sending it to the south of Ireland. So they were waiting there for me, and I thought, oh, what's that? Completely forgot because I ordered them and then it didn't go for a while. And this is the one I ordered. Now they're on linen. Look, I love it. I think that has to be my thumbnail, doesn't it? This is me. I want this to be me probably in about 5 years time if things keep going the way they are. I just absolutely love it. It's on linen, as I say. Now I haven't used them. I was thinking I should have used them to see how well. There are so many pockets inside. They've got a hand string. Now I do realise that having a white or creamy project bag isn't always the best thing for me, but there's her wee logo. But they're going to soften up so much, and several people have messaged to say they do have them, and I just love it. But she sent me, oh, my stomach's rumbling, you probably heard that. She sent me a sock set. Now she said, do you have a podcast? And I said yes, and she's, can I send you something? And if anybody says that to me, I always say you really don't have to. I never expect anything off anybody, but she sent me this as a wee sock bag, and she sent me a wee notions pouch or a purse or whatever you want to use it for. Now, she didn't tell me I had to give them away to anybody, but I don't need 3, do I? So watch this space, and we might you might have a wee giveaway at some point before the year's out. They are just gorgeous. Go and check her out. If you live in Europe or America, I think is even cheaper. But saying that, she had another sale. She has sales quite a lot. So if you go to Etsy, favourite her, and you'll know when the sales are on. She had another sale, and it was actually only, I think, £4 extra to send it here. So there might be something else coming. But I bought them all in euros because my lovely father-in-law gifted me some money. He'd given me some, he sent me some at Christmas, and then with everything that happened, I didn't spend it. Then I just thought to pot, life's too short. You know, I love my project bags, and I really wanted to try this. And it's not, it's totally, this isn't a it's totally in the bag. You know, it's not, what do you call it, stuck on, or so to speak. I just absolutely love it. She's so cute. But the crochet ones, the one that's coming, I'll show you, it's really cool. Ones with animals on, sheep on, just please, she's got so many, and she's been so lovely and really communicates well, and I couldn't ask for better. So go and check out Knitter Bag on Etsy. Excuse me if you hear my dog barking, I do apologise. So that was a lovely surprise when I got to the south of Ireland, and he had kept it for me. Then some of the other things that I've got. If you watch Little Workroom Craft, Davina, I gotta forget that. She is a big fan of home bargains. And we happened to stop on the way back up from the south at the Boulevard. If anybody's from Northern Ireland, you'll know it's an outlet. But we wanted to go into Tesco's there to get some gluten-free bread, and right beside it was a Home Bargains, and I did go into the Boulevard too, but anyway, that's another story. And I'd seen these on her podcast. They're wee labels. I have been given labels in the past and I've used them, but I find it awful hard to know the back and front of sweaters. So I think my son's alarm's just gone off. So I got these, they were less than £1, thanks to Davina showing me them. And just incidentally, the bag that we got, because obviously we didn't just buy those, you don't go into Home Bargains and buy one thing. Look at the bag. Giant's Causeway. Isn't it brilliant? It's Home Bargains bag. I don't know if they had those when I lived in Northern Ireland, but that's the Giant's Causeway, just outside Portrush. And then the other side is, what's this? I don't know what the other side is. Oh, Shane's Castle. See it there. So even the bag I was chuffed with. So Russell. So that was on the way back, and then where have I put it? Oh, lovely. Oh, well, one more thing from Northern Ireland. You might wonder in the wee reel that I put on at the start why this wee lady was on it. My husband, my kids love charity shop, and my husband loves charity shop, and I do too. We went into Ballymena one day, we were at a loose end, and the kids didn't really want to do anything, and we just got back to my mum's and there was Wi-Fi. But we took a wee spin into Ballymena, and my husband spotted this. An old lady on a rocking chair. Now, I've set myself up because I bought the old lady's bag, and he found this in a charity shop. Got it wrapped up in bubble wrap, and it's breakable. Oh, you know what it is? It's a money box. I never even look how bashed it is. Retirement fund. Oh, there's no bottom on it. He got this wrapped up and brought it home and gave it to me. And I love it really, but I'm not going to tell him that. It does swing. It swings as it. And you know, obviously I'm sitting on my rocking chair. We're still married. And that's sitting in my craft room now. My wee lady with her glasses. Anyway, got home and there was a parcel waiting for me at home too. A lovely Kirsty of the Wool and Wishes podcast. I'm sure you watch it. If you don't, please go and watch it. Oh my goodness, absolutely fantastic. She does it with her sister-in-law Tracy, and there's not a craft that they don't do, and so lovely and so friendly, and just lovely to see their relationship with each other too. But she asked me if she could send me some hand spun yarn, because I commented on how beautiful her yarn was, and I got home and there was a beautiful wee note, which not to read. Now I thought she would send me, you know, again I said you don't have to, that's far too much, because obviously hand spun, what, my goodness, takes so long, I wouldn't have the patience for it, and so precious. Look at this. Look at this. Maybe that's better, is it? Yeah, that's better. Look, it's perfection. It's absolute perfection. I mean, look. All my colours. think that is getting it. Maybe a wee bit brighter yellow, that's it. And then this one, look. I mean, I don't even know. So that's Falkland Corradale, dyed by All to Die For. So she buys the bat dyed for and then spins it. But look, it's perfection. There's no thick and thin. It's blown out. There's no thick and thin, or not that there's anything wrong with that either. Kirsty, I was blown away. Absolutely blown away. Lovely autumnal. This one's Corradale too, 240 metres, 98 grams of DK. I mean, that is a DK. Look. So talented. Maybe if you spin, you think, I don't know, but it's blown me away. So thank you, Kirsty. If you don't watch their podcast, go and watch it and give it a wee subscribe. Wool and Wishes podcast. Oh, people are so kind, aren't they? And then lastly, this beauty came. I'd ordered it a while ago. But further to my imposter syndrome and crisis of confidence, this won't be used for a wee while. Again, my next podcast will make it all clear what I'm talking about. But oh, it's gorgeous. Look at those. Look at those. But I think I need to sit down in a quiet room with a strong cup of coffee and look. Oh, I think they're all steeked. I think you'd knit them in the round and then you steek them. But certainly another one for my bookcase at the minute. But not for my brain. So, oh, just beautiful to look at. So that was here too. So lots of things have come in. We've had some fun. We're back now. Kids back to school on Wednesday. And normality. I do work better, I think, with routine. I definitely think I do. But it was so lovely just to get away, spend time as a family, having a bit of fun. We ate so much, as you can see with my extra chin. I think I only cooked about 3 times, which is a miracle, especially when you have a celiac husband. Yes, we just had a great time. Thank you, Mum and Dad, for letting us stay in your house. That was just brilliant too. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed my wee trip. Let me think if there's anything else. Yep. I hope you enjoyed my wee trip and wee token into our time in Ireland. Say we did it takes about 5 hours. Well, it probably doesn't take 5 hours, but we stopped several times getting from Ballymena down to Kilkenny. So we did do the up and down, and we just had fun. We laughed a lot. It's what do you call it? Core memories, aren't they? And yeah, we're back now and back into work and back to porridge, as they say. So what else have I say? You know where to find me. Ruth Loves to Knit podcast on Instagram, Ruth Loves to Knit at gmail.com, Ruth Loves to Knit on Ravelry, Dust 'em Off Mal. The finished objects are coming in. I've got I think there's about 37 or something finished objects on Instagram. I've got 26 emails with photographs. I need to correlate those all as well. And also that's the Dust 'em Off Mal FO hashtag. And the Dust 'em Off Mal has over 100, I don't know how many posts, and I will be drawing prizes from that too. So pop in there when you've picked a project or whatever, and I have knitted loads on one of my Dust 'em Off Mal projects. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's just going into your Ravelry library, into your books, anything you got before the 1st of July 2023. Some people are very good in using stash that they got well before 2023, and we all have beautiful books and Ravelry libraries, and we can knit those up. So that's the Dust 'em Off Mal, and you'll see what I've done in the next podcast, which hopefully will be quite soon, because I have to leave it much longer. It's going to be a feature length appearance, as this one wasn't meant to be, but it's turning out to be. So anyway, I'm going to go and get my son sorted out and get him off to his sleepover, pray for me tomorrow when he comes home, and get a cup of coffee, because I think I definitely need it, and my stomach's rumbling too. And I will bid you goodbye for now. Look after yourself, and till I see you again, keep on knitting. God bless. Bye.